I'm Cindy, aka owner of the small business called Cineco. I make handmade crochet goods and pixel art illustrations and put them on cute little products and stuff. Oh, I wanted to do a video on the 5 things I learned from doing cons this year, because I started cons on April 2024 of this year, and I've done about at least 10 or 11 cons this year, all pretty local, nothing too far, just in the DMV area mainly. So I actually learned a lot about cons this year. It wasn't what I was expecting in some aspects, and it was what I was expecting in other aspects. So I just kind of wanted to go over that, and hopefully this can help some people that want to get into doing cons in the future and such and such. So first thing I learned was that time is valuable. So I make a lot of my stuff, I mean, pretty much all of my stuff except my keychains at home. That includes stickers, that includes prints, that includes buttons, all the crochet stuff. Obviously, I hand make that. So, and then all of my backing cards and stuff I make at home, right? And what I realized when I was prepping for cons like NecoCon or just like the slightly bigger cons like BlurredCon was that I was spending so much time just restocking everything, and I lacked in other aspects of my business. I kind of neglected like other things, like making sure my booth setup was pretty good and making sure that I had my POS stuff figured out, and it led to like difficulties in like processing transactions taking a little bit too long than it should have, because I didn't take the time to actually organize it, because I didn't have time to do it, because I was focusing on restocking for these cons rather than just figuring out the logistics aspect of running the booth and being at the con itself. Yeah, so what I learned is that next year I am probably going to manufacture my stickers, like get it manufactured. I'm probably going to get rid of my button maker and make all my button products that I currently have into acrylic pens, so I don't have to worry about that as well. Prints are just so easy to make at home, and I just sit there and just wait for it to come out. It's not too bad of a thing. And keychains are already manufactured. Crochet, it has to be handmade. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do to try to improve my time management skills with my business. Anyway, number 2, invest in good materials. Okay, so my first con ever was at Big Lick Comic Con, and I'll put like clips up as I talk, right? So my display was really bad because I had my hats flat on the ground, or flat on the like grid cubes, and then I had my buttons on an acrylic stand that wasn't sat up correctly. It wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. It wasn't catching people's eyes. People couldn't see the product, so they didn't buy the product. So it resulted in a lower performance, and my prints were just hide away in the corners. Like it was really bad. So what I realized was like, okay, like I need a new way to display my products, like prints and stuff. So I got a print stand from Clear Displays, I think. And once I got that, my next con, which was 4th State Comic Con, my second con ever, my most sold product were mini prints and prints in general, because of that print stand. They could see it on every tier. They can see everything at one glance. It was really good investment. So it made me feel like, okay, look, even though this thing was really expensive, like $60, $70 to get this print stand, I made my costs up and more just from that con, because everyone could just see the product right away. And I was able to, I don't know, have a better display as a result. So I was like, okay, investment in good materials, display products, all that stuff is really important. I rather invest rather than struggle, if that makes sense. I like cheap out. So another good investment that I also had was a square reader. I had the little swipe thing before, and that was kind of inconvenient because they would swipe and then they'll prompt them to sign, and they get all these prompts, and it makes you think it's like negligible, and in respect it is, but if you have like a line, that time kind of adds up, you know? So I got the little square reader, and once I got that, like all the transactions were really nice. Like my tap for my phone or whatever, and it didn't work before, so with the square reader, I had like no issues at all with that. The only thing I can say is that it does lose connection. So maybe in the future I would get a hotspot, but I've been looking at a lot of Artist Alley vlogs, and sometimes the hotspot is not enough and the convention center will just have sucky Wi-Fi and you can't really do nothing about it. So yeah, but the Square Reader was a great investment. Highly recommend. That one is like $40-50. Not too bad of a price, but the real big behemoth of a price is the terminal, and I don't have that yet. I'm gonna save that for maybe my 1-year anniversary of cons, so to get. So yeah. So anyway, the other investments that I've had invested in that was worth the investment were the Siser Juliet cutting machine. I had a silhouette portrait 3 before. It worked for a month and then it stopped working. It's just a great machine. I highly recommend it if you do want to make stuff at home, like stickers and sticker sheets and all the other stuff. I would recommend the Siser Juliet, just from my experience. One of the last things that was worth the investment was the Epson EcoTank 8550. Now I had the Canon IX Pixma 6820 before. That was a pretty good printer as well. They print in the same like format, like 13 by 19 is the max that they can go. The thing with the Epson is they have it's an EcoTank, so it sips on ink. Like I recently just bought refills for my printer and I've had it for at least 1.5 years, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, because I print a lot of stuff. Canon was great, but like that ink just cost up. Even if like if you do the off-brand, it adds up. So yeah, let's cut it short. Yeah, invest in good materials, guys. So number 3, identify who's a potential customer versus who's a chatter. Now, I like talking to people at cons. I love it. I love nerding out, talking about our favorite series and such. But what I realized is I usually like solo my cons. So like I'm the only one there to man the table, right? And so it's like if I have multiple people looking at once and then they want to buy something, but I'm talking to someone else that I know is not a potential customer, they just want to just chat and have fun. That's cute, but I'm there to make money. I appreciate when people come up to talk to me and it's nice, but please, if you're not going to buy anything, please, if you see people behind you, can you be a little considerate? If you're blocking the table, please, can you be a little bit more considerate? So I now have ways to avert that from happening and such. So just make sure you're careful with like analyzing your table, your surroundings, the people that are there, the people that actually want to buy versus the people that like just chat and nerd out. So all right, number 4 is having a good eye-catching display is vital. This is so important. This is so important. Okay, like let's say if you've never been to a con before but you want a table at cons, oh my gosh, like if you have so many tables around you, like you're probably not gonna look at all of them. You're gonna look at the ones that attract your attention the most. So that's why I say it's really vital to have a good display. I don't know. So if you put more effort into your display, the more reward you get more often than not. Just have a good eye-catching display that's true to yourself and your business with a little personal touch. Utilize height, utilize angles, utilize everything. Just have fun. Just get you down, have fun and trial and error. If you say that some products aren't selling more than other products, then maybe you should change the display of it. Don't blame the con right away. On to the last one, which is it's really straightforward. You guys gonna be shocked about this one. Cons are exhausting. That's what I learned about cons this year. They're exhausting, especially if it's a one-day show. Oh my God, setting up, breaking down, that takes time and effort. Standing on chairs, trying to put things up. It's hard, yo. It is exhausting, and you having to drive there to the venue, drive back, you gotta eat, you gotta sit there for 8, 10, however many hours you're there for. You got to engage with people. If you're an introvert like me, you have a social battery, right? You like talking to people, but man, if you got to keep talking to people, have your energy up, you're gonna be exhausted by the end of the day. The only thing is how I would like kind of like combat that for next year is to basically just like have a little break time, maybe meditate a little bit, have a helper sometimes, you know, get some good sleep before I go to the con, not waste my time by manufacturing everything at home the night before con. You know what I'm saying? So I think these all tying into each other really. It really have my display planned out ahead of time, you know, you just being prepared. So this year, it was first year of me doing cons. I mean, you probably see this after 2024. Right now it's 2024 31st, but it's still 2024. Anyway, this on 2024, let me just say that I enjoyed doing cons. It was great. I was really scared. I was like, oh, I don't think I belong here. I'm not good enough. They're gonna hate my art. They're gonna talk crap. Like, I was really like scared, but I'm really happy I went. I got such good reception, more than I expected. I got a little bit more confident in my art. I kind of know what direction I want to go in by just experimenting with the convention scene. I met so many cool artists. I made some artist friends. And it's fun. It's like, I don't really go out much, so cons are my opportunity to go out and meet people. And it's just been a really good time. So next year I hope to do out-of-state cons because I limited myself this year. So hopefully next year I get to go to, I applied this, I'll name some. So I applied to Anime Expo, C2E2, Anime Central, MegaCon, probably not getting that. The Galaxy Cons, they're booked, and other stuff. So hopefully I'll get into some surprising ones, and if not, I'll just try to improve my art and portfolio for next year. So yeah. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully it was helpful. Hopefully it wasn't too rambly. I'll probably edit this a little bit. But yeah, thank you for watching and see you next year. Happy New Year. Blah, blah, blah. Shh.